Hey everyone, what's going on? Hope you're all doing good. And welcome to the final part of beating Terraria with space weapons only. I don't want to drag out this intro, so let's get right into it. We'll pick up where we left off, by taking on the Martian invasion. Since all the enemies are literally from space, that means all the weapons I can get from the event are usable too. And that being said, the main weapon I wanted was the Influx Waver, which is dropped by the Martian saucer. So I had to kill some of the normal enemies first. However, they do have a 0.13% chance to drop the charged blaster cannon, which I would gladly take. So I perched myself on my storage building and rained down hell on these intergalactic miscreants. And then finally, when I was 87% through the event, the first saucer spawned. I did end up losing to it though, but after multiple invasions and multiple deaths, I eventually take it out. But that happens a bit later. And then I took about the next hour just farming this event. It was either Martian weapons or the Stellar Tune, which has a 5% drop chance and drops from a boss I've never beaten legitly, so I was stuck. I recorded the rest of the gameplay about 2 weeks after, which you've already seen, so I had a bit of time to reset my mind. So I started another Martian invasion and began farming. First, I got the Skutlix mount, which shot lasers at enemies. It wasn't a weapon, but it's a space animal? So I used it a bit. Once another saucer spawned though, I locked in. Using the Skutlix for increased movement speed along with the lasers it shot out, I also used my meteor staff that was doing efficient damage. It took me a little bit to get the attack patterns down, but once I did, it was smooth sailing from there. First time it dropped the Xenopopper, the weapon that actually made me think of this challenge to begin with. The second time I got the Electrosphere launcher, and then after that was over, I went and made some more houses so I can get the Cyborg. If I wanted to use the Electrosphere launcher, I needed ammo. Armed with my new launcher, I challenged the Tyrant of the Hollow, and lost once again. But I do feel better at learning the patterns now, so it won't be long until I can win. Next Martian saucer, next new loot. And the new loot in question was the Cosmic Car Key, the UFO mount. And then, after that, I got the Xeno Summon Staff. Some extra damage is always appreciated. I went to the dungeon to grab some post-Plantera loot, and no, not any of the biome weapons. I was after the Tabi and the Black Belt. It has a better dash than the Shield of Cthulhu, plus it gives me a chance to dodge attacks. So once I got them, I crafted the Master Ninja gear. And then after making them, I tried my hand at the Empress of Light once more. There wasn't much to see here, just another death. But she did get down to a 21,000 health, so I was definitely getting closer. Soon after that, I went to the underground jungle to get topped up on my health. I also grabbed some chlorophyte. Since I'm using the Electrosphere launcher, I didn't need the mage helmet anymore. So after mining, getting max life, and killing Plantera, I began making an above ground mushroom biome. I was wanting to upgrade my armor soon, so I needed Shroomite. While I left the mushroom grass to spread, I went to the underground ice biome to try and find some ice skates. I've had the lightning boots for pretty much the whole time, and I wanted to try and make my way up to the Terra Spark boots. So after about half an hour and many Spelunker potions later, I ended up getting the ice skates. And with that, the Frost Spark boots were made. While I was home sorting my inventory and making the boots, the Truffle moved in. So I bought the Auto Hammer and took the precious Shroomite bars to the guy to see how much I would need. Next, I killed the Wall of Flesh for some reason. I wanted the Ranger emblem, but I don't know why I just didn't shimmer my mage one. I mean, it doesn't really matter, I ended up getting it first try though. Since I was pretty deep in the world, I decided to spend some time looking for the Lava Charm. Next on the to-do list was grabbing some blue mushrooms. Needing 15 of them per Shroomite meant I needed a lot. So I dug around underground for all the mushroom biomes I could find and collected some shrooms. But as it got closer to nightfall, I once again wanted to fight the Empress of Light. So after buffing, shooting, teleporting, and a near death, I finally took down the Empress of Light. Once I got my hands on that very appealing treasure bag, I finally opened it and got the Eventide. I tried this fight a couple more times, but ended up not winning ever again, so I'm not even going to be able to use the Stellar Tune. It's pretty unfortunate, but in the end of the day, there's nothing much I can do. The Soaring Insignia, on the other hand, I was able to use. Infinite Flight is something I would gladly take. I also started digging down in the ocean to try and find the Shimmer along with some water walking boots. There was a life crystal near the Shimmer, so I threw it in. I also went home, grabbed a spare life fruit, and got a normal fruit, and threw those in the Shimmer as well. With those upgrades done, I went back down to my favorite biome, the underground jungle. I needed the last bit of chlorophyte for my Shroomite armor. And just like that, Shroomite was made. Now that I got better armor, it was time to get better wings too. So I grabbed a water candle and went below the surface into the dark mushroom caves. I was in search of the elusive truffle worm, the favorite snack of the dreaded Duke Fishron. I stuck around for a bit getting multiple worms in case I didn't get the wings first try. Once I thought I had enough, I went home, grabbed some buffs, and made my way to the ocean. This was actually an incredibly easy fight with the soaring insignia. There was just one close call near the end in the third phase though. I just didn't know the pattern he attacks in, so I was bound to get hit a couple times. But using the Master Ninja Gear's dash, it turned out okay, and having a chance to dodge attacks didn't hurt either. And just like that, the Duke was defeated. And I got the wings first try. I debated doing the fight a few more times, but there literally wasn't anything I could use, so I decided to go home and that was that. Next up was some money farming. I took a few Eye of Cthulhu spawners and easily defeated them. What I did next marked the beginning of the end. I made my way over to the dungeon and took on the lunatic cultist. This was actually a pretty standard fight, everything considered. The only part that really sucked was that my launcher kept the projectiles in place for a few seconds, and when the fake cultist spawned, more often than not the lingering projectiles would hit the wrong one. But the dragon that was summoned was easily taken down by said projectile, so it wasn't too big a deal. Once that was done, something kind of funny happened. The Stardust pillar basically just spawned on screen. It was also a wee bit humorous how the pillar slowly descended down upon the terrain. Oh, I think it's a good time to mention that I won't be using any of the pillar weapons right now. While yes, they technically are space themed, they are very powerful, and I feel like they would have just made the rest of the game too easy, so I'm only going to be using them as a last resort. After taking down by far the easiest pillar in my opinion, I went to fight Plantera again. I honestly don't even remember why, but here's the footage. Easy enough fight, and Plantera was downed once more. When it was over, I actually noticed that the spiky balls that she shoots out actually move towards you. That actually makes a lot of sense why I feel like I'm always getting hit by them. I thought it was pretty funny, and it was something I had no idea was in the game. Next on the agenda was moving to the temple and finding some solar tablets. I wanted to craft a celestial shell, so I would need a way to summon the event. I also used this time to fight Gollum a few more times. I then ended this day of gaming by peacefully standing on my top-notch NPC housing. We're in the home stretch now, so I won't show any more mundane tasks, like grinding for money or killing bosses I've already beat, so here we go. First off, I summoned the solar eclipse and got all I needed for the celestial shell, so I crafted that puppy up. Then I got it to warding, the cost-effective way, and made my way to the vortex pillar. After multiple deaths, the vortex pillar was finally down. Only 2 left now, and we're so close to yet another challenge complete. I really wanted the Terra Spark boots so I could have the best of everything, but for those I needed the water walking boots and I didn't have any. I searched around but couldn't find any water chests, so I resorted to fishing in the ocean. Long story short, this was extremely boring and I didn't even get what I was looking for, so I ended up moving on. Then flew to the Nebula Pillar. Then, following some really boring attacking, running, and healing, I took it down. Taking on the Solar Pillar was annoying as usual. I used the same tactic as the Nebula Pillar. Attack, run, heal. And after about 20 minutes it was brought down. With my impending doom approaching, I grabbed as many potions as I could and flew to my arena. A little bit of panic set in when the Moonlord spawned, as per usual. The whole challenge led up to this, so I had to focus. Keeping my distance was key. The main laser he shot from the top of his eye was easy to dodge, but when his eyes popped out and shot their own lasers, that's where it got tricky. They were a lot quicker and smaller, so it didn't give me much room for error. All I had to do was just stay back far enough so they couldn't reach me. With that problem solved, all I had to do was dodge as many projectiles as I could and be smart with my weapon placement. Funny enough, I used the same exact strategy that I used in my last challenge with NPC weapons. Since the Electrosphere launcher and the Resonance Scepter both place projectiles wherever you click at, all I had to do was just attack a bit ahead of the Moonlord and he would just run into them. And not too long after I got that groove going, the Lord of the Moon was defeated. Now that all of the challenges were out of the way, I decided to build another victory hall. I think I'm going to do this on every challenge video I have. It's just a little something to commemorate the occasion. I kept the build space themed and made a UFO above my base. I ended up getting a lot of Martian blocks during the Martian invasions, so I was able to use those. I also added a teleporter to simulate getting beamed up by it. And I don't really build very much on here, but when I do, I really try to make it look good. So please let me know what you thought down below. And with that, another challenge is completed. I wonder what I'll be doing next. Hey everyone, here it is, the ending of beating Terraria with space weapons only. I really hope you all enjoyed it, and if you have any tips or suggestions for what I should do, let me know. Like in my last video, Tara Lee Jones, I hope I pronounced that right, commented how I sounded a bit off, and when I asked how, they respectfully told me how they thought. I've tried changing it up just because of the feedback, so I really hope you guys have more thoughts and tell me in the comments below. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy the video again, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.